Hello and welcome to Lois and Morgana Davidson Art. It's Morgana here, and today I'm excited to share a new landscape painting with you, complete with this trio of handsome Canada geese painted using watercolour. I'm beginning with my watercolour paper taped onto a board and laid flat, covering the top 2/3 of it with clean water before adding colour. I'm starting with a simple sky, and for this I'm using cerulean blue deepened with just a small amount of ultramarine. I'm using the card swipe method to add some colour today, which I'm sure some of you are already very familiar with. 3 colours of tube paint have been placed on the edge of this old store card. Today I'm using raw umber, ultramarine and some burnt sienna. This nice thick tube paint is then swept across the paper horizontally to form a flowing impressionistic landscape. Using a spray bottle to add a little more water across the areas of thicker paint is a great way to encourage interesting textures and patterns to form naturally. Scraping marks into the paint with the edge of your card or with something like a palette knife is also a really fun way to pull some more defined areas out of these softer paint plumes. I'm also adding a small sprinkle of fine table salt to add a little extra texture here in this lower third of the painting. I also want the paint to continue to sort of bloom out a little more along the horizon line, so before leaving it to dry I'm using a small spare dish, which you see here, popping it just under the board so that it sits at an angle and encourages the thicker paint to run a little more in the direction that I want it to. I left the painting overnight to fully dry, and once it was ready I used an HB pencil to draw a series of just quite simple bird shapes, and then used my size 0 detail brush to paint them in. I'm going to use 3 colours to paint these Canada geese today, some Payne's Grey, some more raw umber, and a little bit of white gouache. Now that the geese are finished, I'm going to add a little more detail into the landscape itself, just building up a few areas where I can see it just needs a little bit more work. The first thing I'm going to do is add some more darks along the hedgerow, which I'm doing using Payne's Grey and my dagger brush. Also going to use the same method, adding in a few highlights using some more opaque white gouache. I'm also using the dagger brush to paint some lovely dried sort of rust coloured leafy sort of grasses and reeds along the foreground around this area of blue that I've turned into a lake. For this I'm using burnt sienna, deepened in places with a touch more Payne's Grey. Lastly, I'm adding a little bit of spatter detail using a fan brush, and if you're worried about getting spare sort of spatter droplets into that nice clean sky, well then you can soft mask the area like I have here using a little bit of spare or scrap paper. And that's it, the painting is complete. So thank you everybody for watching this week. I really hope you enjoyed it. I must say I particularly enjoyed painting these geese today. I think they look great against that nice bright winter sky. Makes me feel chilly just looking at it. I hope you all have a lovely rest of the week. Any questions or comments, please do pop them below the video. So thanks again for watching and happy painting.